Yo, we back. We back. Another video today. Cool video today. Another one. I think it's lesson 4. Lesson 4, yes sir. It's the 90-10 riddle. Do you know the 90-10 riddle? Most people don't. I understand. It's not very well spoken. I mean, schools don't teach you these things, so you'll never know. You'll never know these things. But the 90-10 riddle it essentially is, how does 10% of the population control 90% of the money? That's the riddle. How can we figure that out? Well, in this lesson, we're gonna talk specifically about the stock market, right? Stock market. So, interesting thing that the 10% we're talking about here are very powerful people, man. These people are institutionalized investors. They own trillions, billions. They've got a lot of money, and with money comes power. These people have a lot of power, which means that they definitely have your politicians and your central bankers and your bankers in their pockets, right? So here's something very cool that happens. Let's say the stock market crashes. What these people would do, they would meet up with your politicians, your bankers, and all these things, like secretly, probably on their islands and stuff like that. Very cool things that they do. They do that. They deal with these people secret. The public doesn't know. They think that the politician in front of them cares about it. They don't care. They dealing with this man that's funding their campaign and stuff like that. So what happens is, this guy, they meet up. Then this guy's like, yo, I need you guys to come up with something, because I've lost maybe 30% of my wealth from the stock market. I need you guys to say that there's a crash or that the economy is shaky, so we have to print more money. And that's what happens. So how these banks print the money, most people don't know. Let me tell you. So how they print the money is that the central bank would approach one of the big banks, because the central bank is at the top. It's like a pyramid. The central bank is at the top. These other banks are just under them, and then it keeps trickling down and down. So the central bank approaches the banks that's just below them, and they say, yo, I've got this cash, because they can just generate cash out of nowhere. They say, do you guys have treasury bonds and stuff like that? Because these are assets on these banks' balance sheet, right? So then what happens is, the central bank they swap essentially the assets. The central bank takes the treasury bonds and they give the banks the cash. You see? So now there's more cash in the system. You see? Because the treasury bond isn't cash, it's like a document. So from a document you get cash all of a sudden. So what happens is, because the banks don't need your money anymore, what do? They give you very low interest rates, just to discourage you from putting your money in the savings. So as an investor, because you're seeing these low interest rates at the bank, this forces you into the stock market. And as you go into the stock market, the stocks have stayed the same. The amount of stocks are the same. What has changed now is the demand. And if you look at the demand and supply curves, if supply is fixed and demand shifts to the right, that means prices will be higher. So then these people who have the central bankers in their pocket, they've made their money back, right? Because the price has gone up. The price of the share has gone back up. That's how they manipulate the market. Most people have no idea that's how they do it. It's all about supply and demand. The stock market is supply and demand. The stock market is the people's opinion of where stock should be. The higher in demand it is, the higher it will be. That's essentially how it works. So now the problem with this is, there's more money in circulation. That means higher inflation. It's inevitable. So these people who are very powerful, the 10%, let me say that, these people have made their money back. But now the 90% of the population, they're gonna suffer inflation. There's more money in circulation, that means more inflation. That's essentially how it works, man. You see? So they get richer, we get inflation. Now the riddle is, how do we get to that point, to the 10%? Not necessarily where we manipulate the market, but where we have assets and equities and things so that we don't have to rely specifically on the stock market. Me and my brother, we go into the stock market maybe for a week. We trade for a week, we make ridiculous amounts of money, and then we leave. Some people are crazy. They put their retirement in that vehicle. That's ridiculous, man. Why would you do that? They'll see in maybe 5-10 years what happens. Because I think the next crash, or the coming crash, is gonna be ridiculous. There's another video I'm gonna make. It's about Biden and all these things. He forgave like 5 billion, but that's another video. Let me leave that. It's crazy. The next crash is gonna be ridiculous, man. Ridiculous, because there's more money in circulation now than there ever has been in the entire existence of man. You understand that? In 2020, they printed so much money. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Argentina has 200% inflation. 200% inflation. Imagine paying 3 times the price of something that you paid for. That's crazy. That is crazy. Then the president came out and says, no, it's the West's fault. That president is useless. What is wrong with this guy? This guy has no idea how economics, how supply. That's the problem with politicians, man. They have no idea how business works. Politicians, they collect money from tax. It's easy to collect money from tax. You know how hard it is to convince people to generate sales. Business. Politicians need to be businessmen. That's why Donald Trump is he's a better politician. He's a businessman. Most Biden, all these guys, these are politicians. They have no idea how money works. They just come in and they increase taxes. Thinking that people will pay taxes forever. Taxes is a short-term solution. But that's it. That's it for today, man. Join our island business school. It's very cool. We teach you everything you need to know about money. So yeah, don't be. The reason we started the school is so that you learn how to not become a slave to this idea. Money is an idea. So yeah, join it. It's cool. Learn.